Hello, my name's Trevor and I like to build things. Today I'm carrying on with the build of my pilot boat 32 inch from HAKITS in the UK. In the last video we saw that we built the structure for the hull and the decking. Today we continue fitting some of the prop shaft parts and parts of the side of the boat. So let's get on back to the workshop. So moving on, we need to fit and glue the prop shaft box sides, the largest closest to the keel. So these are the prop shaft boxes, inner and outer. So this one's going to go into here. So this is the inner one. And the outer one. And it says use a tube as a spacer but do not glue at this stage. So I'm going to put the prop shaft in. And I guess that's just to make sure that the widths are correct. And same on the other side. And again I'm going to put the prop shaft in just to ensure all the bits stay at the right angles. So that's splaying a little bit there. So I'm just going to put a clamp on each of the points. Don't know why, but it just seems the right thing to do. So now the next bit is to fit the tube supports inside those box sides. So these are going to fit in here. So let's join these two together. That's that one. Now put the spacers back in. And they fit in there, and that should clamp that up nice and tight then. And they still need to be removable as and when. So the next is to sand to the same angle as the hull formers, which I'll do when everything's set and dried. And now we've got to glue the doublers between the formers to act as supports for the lower skins. So So I'm just removing the last of the clips, and I need to check that these prop shafts come back out, which they do, hopefully. Yep, so that's good. So now we've got a place to put the prop shafts when we come to mount them. The next thing it asks us to do is to glue the transom to the hull and underside of the deck. So we'll have a go at that. So here's the transom. And I'm going to use lots of glue on this, I think. To make sure we get a good attachment. Can't see that you'd ever get enough glue on this piece. And the glue doesn't actually come onto this piece, it's down in the bottom where the lower hull is. So I'm going to get rid of some of that glue and then force a bit more down in the join. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I think that's good. I'm sort of using this glue more as a sort of filler than a adhesive. Maybe I could use a filler, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So I think that's good for what's in the bottom there. And then around the top, you can see I'm going to need to do a bit of trimming there when it's done. Okay, that was a bit fiddly, but I think we've got it done there. Didn't need adhesive down there, so I'm going to get rid of that. Same at this side. Good. So now we'll leave that and see what happens when it's set. I think that's okay. While I'm waiting for the transom to go off, I'm just going to measure the gap between the two prop shafts 68 millimeters to the centres. 68. So I'm now going to go and have a go at making some mounts for the motors. I used Tinkercad to create a basic motor mount with 68 centres so that the motors will be in line with the prop shafts. Now I just need to go to the printer and print them off. This is in with the motors mounted, so I think they've turned out quite well. We just need to go and check that they fit okay now. So there are two cutouts on that frame there, and that's exactly where the motors are going to fit. The next instruction is to sand the transom to the bottom skin, which I'm going to do now, and then glue the skin in place as tight as possible to the keel. So getting back onto this, the next job, which I'm really not looking too much forward to because I've never done this before, is fit the bottom skin, which is this piece here. And you can see there's a hole here for the rudder post and also a hole for the prop shaft, so they may come in handy. Now I'm going to try all sorts of things on here to try and get this to work, but we'll see. And I'm only going to fit one side at a time. Basically this edge of the skin needs to fit up against this line here. So I'm going to try and use a selection of pins maybe, and some tape, good old tape, obviously glue. And I came up with another idea to help line everything up. This is an old knife blade that I use, and it just happens to be exactly the right size to fit down there. So that is going to help locate everything, which is good because that actually places everything in position like that. So all I need to do now is glue it, which is a simple piece. So let's give it a go. So let's hit it hard with some glue. And here we go then. Let's copy some ounces of glue. I'm only going to do this one edge for the moment. And maybe the other edge of the bottom skin can be done when this is set. Putting plenty of glue on there. So let's see how this goes, see the best way to do it. So rudder post in. That's good. I'm going to try and pin this to see if I can get the glue to stick in the right place. It's not looking too bad at the back. I'm going to get a bit of glue in here. This is where it could get a bit more tricky. I'm sure I can fill up any gaps there later. Add some more glue just along the hull line there where it meets the keel. Now that's going to need to be left for quite a while to see how it sets. While we're here, I'm also going to run some glue down the back of this, which will obviously need trimming later. There we are. Okay, so we're going to just leave that to set now, and then when that's set we can come and glue this side, which we haven't touched yet. There will be a bit of space to get around there. I'll just clean this up a tiny bit. And we'll leave it at that for now. I thought while the glue was drying I would just try and see if I can get the prop shaft down to where the engine's going to be, but I can't, so I need to do a bit of jiggery pokery around here, and I'm not quite sure how to do that. I've got a piece of 4mm tube which I can pass in from the front end. I can see there it's just a bit tight on the end, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave a bit of that off and see if I can get my my prop shaft in. I'm going to try that. Now, need a bit more width. So we're just about there. Just need a little more chopping off. Yes, that seems pretty good. Okay, I think that's positive there. We can fill the area around here with some epoxy when everything's set. Now while you've been asleep, I've let this glue set, so this is looking quite good. Also, while you were not here, I've glued this edge down, so these clips can come off now. And that's looking pretty good. Quite pleased with that. So I'm going to do the next part now, and I'll come back when that's done, because you don't want to watch me do the whole thing again. So in best Blue Peter fashion, here's what I made earlier. So both of these bottom skins are on now. They fit nice. I've had to just drill a small hole to make the rudders the right width, and I've also fitted on this one the second prop. Only temporary, this can slide in and out, but this is just to make sure that everything's going to be as it should be, and it's looking pretty good. Now the next step is to fit the side skins, which are these, but when I do that I'll no longer be able to access into the cabin to fit the rudder posts and rudders. So before I fit the next piece, I'm going to fit the rudders into the place. And there, just by magic, the rudders are now in place with the posts in the middle. And I'm not going to bore you with the extras, but I'm now going to install the rudder mechanism, the servo, into there. So that'll be my next little job, and I won't bore you with that either. So from the previous video, you'll see I've added a few extras. I've put the motors in and joined the prop shaft on. I've made a battery box on my 3D printer, and I fitted the servo at the back to run the two rudders. So all the internals are now in place. So the next job, if I prop this up on its side, is to fit the side skin. So this is the piece here. Now I have noticed that, as I mentioned earlier, I think I may have made a few mistakes, but it is my first time. But when I put this onto here and curl that around the front like this, there isn't enough meat to go right around the front of the hull, of the bow, sorry. So it's not a problem, it's just something to find a solution for. So I'm going to start gluing this, and we'll see where we get to. And then in the bottom I'm going to put a good helping of glue in this joint. Now you think that would fit that way, but it doesn't, it fits this way. So we're going to start at the back, feed all that into the hull, and then start clamping everything down. Lovely. I'm going to try and use some pins again to try and attach this. Okay, so that sort of fits at the back. We've got quite a gap at the front, but that can be repaired later. So we'll call it a day at that. And so in the next episode, episode 3, I'm going to be fitting the cabin on top of the deck and finishing off the electronics and tidying it up a bit. There's a few edges that need filing and cleaning up. So please come and join me in the next video, episode 3, and I'll see you then. Please like and subscribe. I've worked hard to do this.